I sat nervously in my seat, my hands tightly gripping the armrests of the airplane seat. It wasn't my first time flying, but it was definitely the longest flight I had ever taken. As I tried to calm my nerves, I couldn't help but think about how much I needed this vacation. My name is Victoria 36 Female, and I've been working as a social worker for the past 10 years. I've seen it all: abuse, neglect, poverty, and everything in between. It's a tough job, but it's also incredibly rewarding. However, lately, I've been feeling burnt out and in desperate need of a break. So, I decided to take some time off and travel to Europe. I was on my way to Spain, where I planned to spend the next 3 weeks exploring the beautiful cities and countryside. But before I could even leave the airport, I found myself face to face with an entitled parent. It all started when I accidentally bumped into a woman who was rushing to get off the plane. "Excuse me," I said, apologizing. But before I could even finish my sentence, she turned around and started yelling at me. "Watch where you're going, you idiot," she screamed. "Do you have any idea who I am?" I rolled my eyes. "Here we go." "No, I don't," I replied calmly, "and I don't really care." The woman huffed and walked away, but I could feel her eyes on me the entire time. Little did I know she would become a thorn in my side for the rest of my trip. The next day, I was walking through a crowded street market, enjoying the sights and sounds of the bustling city. That's when I heard someone yelling my name. I turned around to see the same woman from the airplane, storming towards me with her young daughter in tow. "You!" she spat, pointing her finger at me. "You ruined my flight yesterday." I raised an eyebrow. "I'm sorry." "My daughter couldn't sleep because you were being so loud," she continued, her voice growing louder with each word. "You should be ashamed of yourself." I couldn't help but laugh. "Are you serious? I was asleep for the entire flight." The woman's face turned red with anger. "Don't you dare lie to me!" she screamed. "My daughter and I were seated right behind you, and we couldn't get a moment's peace because of your loud snoring." I was taken aback. I had never been accused of snoring before, and I couldn't help but feel embarrassed. "I'm sorry if my snoring bothered you," I said, trying to diffuse the situation. "But I can't control that," the woman scoffed. "You should have been more considerate of other people on the plane," she said. "You ruined our entire flight, and now you're ruining my vacation too." I could feel my frustration growing. "I didn't ruin anything," I said firmly, "and I don't owe you anything." The woman's eyes narrowed. "Excuse me," she said. "You owe me the cost of our tickets. You made our flight a nightmare, and I demand compensation." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This entitled parent was demanding that I pay for her and her daughter's flight because of something I couldn't control. I took a deep breath and tried to remain calm. "I'm sorry, but I'm not going to give you any money," I said. "This is ridiculous." The woman huffed and crossed her arms. "Fine," she said, "but just remember, what goes around comes around. You'll get yours eventually." With that, she stormed off, dragging her daughter behind her. I watched her go, feeling both relieved and annoyed. I couldn't believe I had to deal with this on my vacation, but I knew that I couldn't let her ruin my trip. I took a deep breath and continued on my way, determined to enjoy my time in Spain despite the entitled parent's attempts to ruin it. It was a typical Saturday afternoon when I decided to go to the local video game store to buy the latest game release. I had been looking forward to this for weeks and had saved up enough money to buy it. As I entered the store, I was greeted by the usual sounds of excitement and anticipation as gamers of all ages were browsing through the vast selection of games. I made my way over to the section where the game I wanted was located and began scanning the shelves. As I was reaching for the game, I felt a tap on my shoulder. I turned around to see a woman standing behind me with a young boy by her side. "Excuse me, but we were here first," she said, pointing to the game I was about to pick up. "My son has been waiting for this game for months." I was taken aback by her entitlement, but I tried to remain calm. "I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I'll find another game." As I began to walk away, the woman grabbed my arm. "No, you're not going anywhere. My son deserves that game more than you do." I tried to pull away, but her grip was too strong. "Please, let go of me. I don't want any trouble. Too bad. You're going to give us that game or else. I was getting more and more uncomfortable by the second, and I knew I had to do something to get out of this situation. Look, I don't want any trouble, but I'm not going to give you the game. I saved up my own money to buy it, and I have the right to purchase it. The woman became a beast, and before I knew it, she began to throw fists at me. I managed to avoid her attack, but she kept coming at me, fueled by her own sense of entitlement. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest as I tried to avoid her blows. "Why don't you just let it go?" I shouted over her angry screams. "It's just a game!" But she wouldn't listen. She kept coming at me, and I knew I had to defend myself. I tried to keep my distance, but she was relentless, and I knew that I had to end this once and for all. "Listen, lady," I said, trying to stay calm. "I don't want to hurt you, but if you keep attacking me, I'll have no choice but to defend myself." She didn't seem to hear me, and she kept coming at me with fists flying. I knew that I had to act fast, so I raised my hands to defend myself and took a step back. Suddenly, a security guard appeared, and he quickly intervened. "What's going on here?" he asked, looking at the woman with suspicion. "She tried to steal my game," I said, my heart still racing. The woman looked taken aback. "That's not true," she exclaimed. "He attacked me." The security guard looked at both of us for a moment before turning to me. "Did you attack her?" "No," I said, shaking my head. "She tried to steal my game, and when I refused to give it to her, she attacked me." The security guard nodded. "I'm going to have to ask you to leave," he said, turning to the woman. "And if you ever come back here, I'll have you arrested for assault." The woman scowled at me as she stormed out of the store with her son in tow. As I stood there trying to catch my breath, the security guard came up to me. "Are you all right?" he asked, looking concerned. "Yeah, I'm okay," I said, still feeling a bit shaken. "Thanks for stepping in." He smiled at me. "No problem. It's my job to keep everyone safe here." As I made my way to the checkout, I couldn't help but feel a bit angry at the entitled woman. Who did she think she was, trying to steal my game like that? But I also felt a sense of relief that the situation was over and that I could finally go home and enjoy my new game. In short, my mom is obsessed with me getting a boyfriend. I've dated one guy for 4 months, but I feel I should end this situationship as I just can't fall for him. Unfortunately, my parents do know as I live with them. For now, I have no possibility to move out due to studying. I love my mom so much, and usually she's a good mom, but in this situation, she's literally insane. I keep analyzing, why is she even that obsessed? She can even tell me I don't have to like a guy at all to fall for him, that no one is perfect if I see red flags, and give her hints I'm not that sure if I'll go further with him. Or even accuse me of being a megalomaniac when I tell her I'm just done with a guy criticizing me while I keep complimenting him. Once she even had something like a fury attack when she told me I'm not respecting her and her hard work for not wanting to date that guy. He studies law, and my mom is a very successful woman. What I appreciate, however, she has no right to treat me as a tool, especially as we live in an European country. So, no, marrying your daughter off isn't anything normal in our culture. Since I informed her I'll probably end this situationship, yes, I had to, as she would bug me with questions. Why won't I meet that guy again and verbally attack me if I refuse to speak about it? She's being just incredibly hard to deal with. She keeps snapping at me for being happy. I've even heard she doesn't want me to tell her it was fun at the gym. I don't even tell her unless she asks, or with my friends. I feel so emotionally drained, as before it wasn't like that, and now I feel I can't tell her anything. She clearly says she doesn't accept my decision, and she has a damn right to do that and expect me to do the things like she wants me to. Like, holy F, it's my effing life. Since last week, my dad is something like a mediator. I know he talked to her, she controls herself a little bit better, but it's still bad, and I just hate the conflict aura. However, I will never back down, as it's my life, my damn potential partner whom I might even spend my whole life with, and I have a right to find someone who I at least like in that way. She's obsessed with the idea of me having a boyfriend because I'm 21 and my time is passing. She even guilt trips me for wanting to go on vacation with my friend instead of a guy. I don't feel ready for a relationship yet. I've dated before, but I'm just done with going on Tinder dates, just to make her finally leave me alone. I do think I'm still young and I have a right to find someone right in my time. Dad is already done with that drama. I'm not even surprised, though. I'm emotionally exhausted. He mostly has my side and doesn't give me detached advice, but says I should make decisions for my own good, and if I don't feel anything for this guy, I shouldn't force myself. Good of him, as he also pressured me to get someone before. Do you have some tips how to deal with that situation? I literally cry every day as I love my mom so much. And it hurts me when she's mad with me and keeps showing it to me. She's literally emotionally punishing me. Nevertheless, that's the boundary where I won't back off, as it's my life and I won't do stuff she wants me to. How do I survive that? I have no possibility of getting a therapy. I just need some advice how to solve that problem and how to survive. As I suppose, based on previous situations, she will finally accept, even if situational disgust remains with me. So, I saw the Karen with her child again, but this time in Walmart while I was grocery shopping. I made the mistake of ignoring my dog when she was alerting to my heart rate. I genuinely thought she wanted the sandwich I was eating. Boy, was I ever wrong. I ended up really dizzy and out of breath and had to sit down in the corner of the store while she was doing deep pressure therapy. I must have been on the floor for about 10 minutes. During that time, a staff member at Walmart came over to check on me and ask if I was all right. They gave me a free bottle of water as well, and I am very appreciative of that. Anyways, while I was down, the same child saw me again from a distance and had another meltdown. The child's mom already explained to me last time that her daughter had autism. She was screaming and crying about my dog being there because she was terrified. I can understand why she may be scared because my dog is by no means small. She's a 115 pounds female cane corso. Aside from alert and response, she's also trained for mobility assistance. Her breed isn't typically used as a service dog, but she was a natural. I got her as a pet dog and she became the service dog I needed. She's 100% good girl. This woman did not leave the store with her child that was having a meltdown. Instead, she had the audacity to call 911 on me. Eventually, the cops did show up and she kept shouting that I was faking having a disability because I was too young to actually be disabled again, that it was illegal for me to have my service dog anywhere near food indoors, and that people like me are the reason why she has had to suffer lockdowns. I'm Asian. She said the least I could do is be considerate and stay home away from everyone and keep my dog at home where it belongs. My dog was very clearly vested with tags that says service dog. I showed the cops my medical note that I carry stating that I require a service dog. In the end, the manager banned the woman from coming to the local Walmart for a year. The cops only gave her a warning for wasting their time and escorted her off the property. I wanted to put this in Insane Parents, but it didn't allow text posts, so I'll put this here. This was a couple years ago. It was either a summer or a weekend. Doesn't really matter, I guess. But it was one of the many times when my parents were mad at us. We woke up and decided to have Cheerios for breakfast. My brother told my parents that the milk was expired and smelled terrible. Their response: have it anyway. We sat there and were forced to choke down Cheerios with expired milk. They watched us pour the cereal and milk and made sure we had big, full bowls. They told us that if we didn't finish our cereal in time, we would have to write sentences. My brother managed to finish in the time they gave us, but I didn't. I had 1 or 2 spoonfuls left when my dad handed me the paper with the sentence I was supposed to write. even after I showed him how little I had left and begged him to not give me sentences. So I had to write 1,000 plus sentences. That's the amount they usually give us. And the sentence usually takes up 2 lines on notebook paper. So that wasn't fun at all.